everybody. Welcome once again to another edition of Gaffing the Truth. My name is Jeff with a G, and as always, is my good compatriot, friend, and whatnot, Scabs the Clown. How's it going, Scabs?
It's going, man. How you doing?
Dude, another week is another week. We're counting down
Yeah.
to the big Christmas time, and supposedly for here in because here in Austin, the mask order for Austin only extends through tomorrow. So starting Wednesday, in theory,
Interesting.
no mask. But I think the county goes longer, but I don't know. It's just really weird. So I'm like tomorrow is my day off, and so literally I'm gonna be like scouring to whether or not I have to worry about like not working for a while because I don't trust people yet. I mean,
Yeah, I feel that.
the as far as being maskless, there's not enough of there's not enough vaccine out there to process for to be okay. I don't know. We'll make it. It's gonna.
Yeah.
We'll see what's gonna happen. I think the shop's gonna extend the mask order at least through the end of the year, just on our own thing. So if they want to come in, they have to be masked because we can do because it's a
Yeah.
great
No,
thing.
I did that show Saturday night after I hopped off with you and Captain and Maybell,
Oh my
and
gosh.
I had Joe and Larisha with me, and we walked into the bar, and we were the only ones wearing masks. Like nobody cares anymore.
Oh, man.
Also, some guy wanted to smoke some of his tobacco with me, and he had a pipe, and he was like, I was like, I don't know about sharing pipes right now, and he was like, no, it's okay, I got hand sanitizer, and he washes off the tip for me, and I was like, good enough.
It's not about what's inside the tip. I think it'd be more the issue
Yeah.
as well. But well, I guess you'll find out in 6 to 7 days.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay, cool. And I'm actually today, for everybody's watching, I'm actually enjoying my nice, lovely beer in my koozie, which is me and Scabs' good friend Ku Agente, who is our favorite African.
Our favorite African.
He's a comedian out of Houston, Texas. He actually even hosts a weekly show on Facebook called Standing Room Only, and both of us have been on his show. And I think we might be coming on soon. Just keep track of our social media to make sure that's happening or not. But it's a lot of fun. It's just talking shit with a bunch of comedians and funny people. And I have fun going on there, just freaking out them whenever they do the word of the day because I always do some sort of weird stunt or trick, and it's always fun.
I just talked weird stuff last time I was with him. There was one guy, I forgot his name, he's a comedian, but he was very happy with the fact that I was an actual clown. And he and I got along really well. He was a lot of fun. And I mean, you're rocking your koozie. I don't. I think I have an 80 Tribe koozie around somewhere, but I just pulled this shirt out of the closet. I haven't seen it in a while. I got my Bear Lee shirt on. I miss that guy.
Oh yeah, I think he just tried out for some TV show, and so we're hoping to get it.
Yeah, America's
Giz,
Got Talent. Yeah.
yeah. Gizmock, thank you for being on the chat. Yes, we're both in Texas. I'm in Austin, Texas, and Scabs is in Houston.
H.
Hey. Yeah, I'm rocking the Strange Romance Curio shop. It's a shop that they're now in Idaho, but they were in Vegas when I interact with them. That's where I got my cool like rabbit clown stuff, my taxidermy
Nice.
rabbit clown. Good people, good people. I even had them on the show for the G Spot. Well, now I guess about 2 months ago. I had to think about it. Yeah, it was
Right on.
September-ish. No, they're good people. Great time. So, all right. So today, as we all right, Gizmock says he's in Austin too, and he knows you from Creepy Hollow. That's true. He is part of
Oh,
Creepy
hey,
Hollow.
right on.
Yeah.
Right on. Creepy Hollow. Man, we're actually opening up again this coming weekend for our Christmas Scream. So Friday and Saturday, yeah, come out. It'll the haunted house. Oh my God, the haunted house is like covered in Christmas lights. We're gonna have Krampuses running around. We're gonna have Santas. You can do a. I don't know if they're how they're doing photos, but you do a photo ops with Santas with Krampuses and everything. We'll be doing shows. Myself, Crispy Clown, and Chris Broken,
How late does it run?
all night long.
How late does it run on Friday?
I think we're closing at 10. I'll have to double check, but I will make sure if we're staying open till midnight, I'll let everybody know. But I think we're going
Yeah,
until 10.
because if it's midnight, I can probably make it. But
Yeah,
10 o'clock, I'd be like
yeah,
leaving straight from work to get there, and I'd be going, and everything shut down. But
yeah. I'll double check for you.
turn right around and drive back. No, I might. It's depending what it is. I might. It also might not. I don't know. It depends on the work, and I have the Saturday off, which is fine. Except I'll have G Spot on to do, and I'll talk about that at the end of the show. But so I'll have my
Hmm.
show with like a big guest. So, but today we'll talk about this show. This show today we're going to be talking. We always like talking about cryptids and stuff like that, and so we thought it'd be fun to talk about the water based cryptids like Nessie or Champy or things like that. I thought that would be a lot of fun because I know Scabs here
Hmm.
loves cryptids. And I don't think weirdly enough, I don't think the water ones get enough play. I mean, Nessie gets plenty of play, but outside of Nessie, a lot of the other ones don't get as much play.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, like with most water cryptids, like it's always like a plesiosaur type creature, but and there's
Ex-
tons of them. There's a lot. There's like all over the world, like just different ones in different lakes.
Except for let me see
But
if I can
yeah,
find. There's
it's always Nessie. Nessie's the only one anybody's ever heard of. But I'm looking at a list of them right now that just oh my god, like some I've never even heard of.
there's
But I'm sure they're all. I'm oh actually that one looks pretty interesting. Either way, I'll go down. We'll hop on some of this list and see what we find.
Oh yeah, I'm all down because I figured it'd be a lot of fun to talk about this weird sort of stuff because that's what we do. We talk about this weird sort of
Yeah,
stuff. We talk about how about Caddy? Do you know about Caddy?
I don't know about Caddy.
All right, so Caddy's out of the Pacific coast of North America, and it's derived from the Cadboro Bay in Greater Victoria, British Columbia. And Caddy's also short for Cadborosaurus. Um, it's supposed to be like a serpent with vertical scales or humps in tandem behind a horse-like head and long neck, with a pair of elevating front flippers, which are basically plesiosaurus kind of design, I think, or the ones where they have the weird kind of stuff. But the weird thing is like they've been talking about this thing since like the days of the First Nation stuff. So back, Native Americans been talking about it forever and a day. Uh, the Manasat
Mm.
people, the Manhosat people, a tribe, stuff like that, called it the. I'm gonna butcher this, but I'm gonna say it anyways. The Hayatelek, uh, and then there's also been called the Chanko and the Numkse Li Kuala by the Comics Band of Vancouver Island. And
Mm.
apparently, there's been like carcasses found around that they don't really know what's going on. Like it's from like 1930, 1934, 1937, 41, and so on. But like a lot of the stuff like huge like marine creatures, and then it turns out like oh no, that's just like a baby, like a baby baleen whale or something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, going off what you said just a minute ago, I'm sure there's a lot of names on these this list that I'm looking at that we're just going to butcher horribly.
And supposedly somebody caught it back in 1991, but let it go.
What?
Yeah,
Why? Well, I mean, yeah, I'd probably do the same thing. It's like I want you to be my friend, and I don't want you to like die scientist. So yeah, I get it. But also, I'd be like, I'd probably get some pictures with it and everything else.
yeah, it was just one of those
I
weird
want to show off my find, but I wouldn't want it to be like I wouldn't want it to go to science because they just kill it. I know how scientists are. Scientists found the world's oldest. What was it? It was the world's oldest clam in the ocean. It was massive. It was huge, and they were like, "Wow, we want to determine its age, so let's open it." and they owned it and killed it. And turns out it was the oldest living being recorded on Earth. Yeah. So I mean, I get it too. You know, like I'd probably, if I found a cryptid, I'd let it go too.
Where's that one? Is it this one?
But the one I was just looking up, I just like the name of this one. It's somewhat known. Ogopogo.
Yogo
You ever heard of the
Pogo.
Ogopogo?
It's just one of the best names ever.
I know, right? Like in Salish, it's Naitk, which means lake demon. Name given to the cryptid lake monster, reported to live in Lake Onekanagan in British Columbia, Canada. In 1926, a sighting claimed to have occurred at an Okanagan Mission Beach. This event supposedly witnessed by about 30 cars of people who all claimed to have seen the same thing in 1968. Art Folden filmed what is claimed to be footage of the alleged creature, showing a large wake moving across the water. A computer analysis of the footage concluded it was a solid three-dimensional object, and in 2011, a cell phone video captured two dark shapes in the water. A suggested explanation is that the video shows two logs. Ogopogo has been allegedly seen by First Nations people since the 19th century. The most common description of Ogopogo is a 40 to 50 foot long, 12 to 15 meters sea serpent. British cryptozoologist Carl Schuker has categorized the Ogopogo as a mini hump variety of lake monster and suggested it may be kind of primitive serpentine whales such as a basilosaurus that lived 40 million years ago.
Okay.
And that's always the thing. It's always a plesiosaur, or some kind of 40 million year old, like dinosaur. And it's like, how has it survived this long? And there are theories about that are really interesting. I remember seeing one on Ancient Aliens, because I love me some Sukalos.
Yeah.
But he said the for Nessie, yeah. I don't know if we're gonna get into Nessie or not, because Nessie's so common. I love me some Nessie, but like it's so common. Everybody knows about Nessie. But apparently there's a canyon in Loch Ness, and there's a lot of quartz found in that canyon, and they think that the vibrations in the canyon and the quartz cause some kind of ripple in time, where like if a plesiosaur is like swimming through that, it will cause a time rift and it pops up in our time. And that's why like you can't really find Nessie. And Nessie's just kind of like pops up and like, hey, what's going on? Where's all the fish? What's this thing? And it's like, all right, I'm going back to where I came from, and goes through the same canyon. The vibrations happen again. It's sent back to its time.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. It's like you're really
That's
reaching there, bud. Like,
it's a premium space weed that he's smoking. Space
God,
coke.
I wish I would love to get high with Sukalos and just let him rant.
No, he's just gonna go. It's just a job, man. Anyways, catch that cane.
He's like, they put me on TV. I got to say some stupid shit.
It's a script. My name's not even Sukalos. My name is John Smith. It's just like something generic.
Yeah, right. He's just got a regular name. He doesn't have a weird like Greek Russian mixture of a name or anything.
No, see, it's not anything. My name is Chris Amerson.
God, I wish they would give me a dumbass TV show to talk about cryptids and shit. Ugh.
Nah, if you wanna,
Oh man, you got another one?
sure, man. If you let's like, I'm gonna step away. Could you talk about how like we discussed the fact is that when it comes to like the water cryptids and stuff like that, it's almost always like something that's very dinosaur like of some sort. I want to talk about where's the name of this thing? I want to talk about the dingo neck.
The what?
The dingo neck. That's
Dingo
right.
neck. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It is said this is a creature that is said to have been seen near Lake Victoria, which is in Africa for all you people joining in, back in 1907 by a big game hunter by the name of John Alfred Jordan, and of course members of his hunting party. Uh, and then then one of the people, the hunters with him, actually wrote a memoir called Enclosed Territory. And so in this book, this memoir, they talk about all the different animals they saw, and of all different things. And at first you're going, well, the guy's just making it up. But literally, he's talking about like 4 or 5 other animals that truly exist, even though they're going, it's fucked up. Why would that exist? Like he talked about the okapi, which it's a weird fucking animal. If you try to describe it, they're going, yeah, it's not real. And there's okapi, which is a great little animal. So like he talks about the thing is called a dingoneck. So the dingoneck, let me find the basically the dingoneck is almost like he equates it to being like almost like a leopard meets a whale meets like a sea serpent type thing. So basically like a roided out like and then there's like big enough like it was small like it can get out of the water and do stuff like that, but it's lived in the water and it would they say the size of it looks like it could strip a water buffalo clean in minutes for the size.
Okay. Okay.
And it's like really cool and weird. And so like 14 to 15 feet long. The head is big as that of a lioness, but shaped and marked like a leopard, with 2 long fangs sticking straight out of its upper jaw. Back as broad as a hippo, scaled like an armadillo, but colored and marked like a leopard, and had a broad fin tail with slow, lazy swishes on which it could easily be holding itself level with the current. So kind of like this weird like alligator meets hippopotamus meets leopard thing, for lack of a better term, is what it looks like. Um, but it's just said like it's like a really weird thing. But the weird thing is like the only real true account of this thing, like officially, has been through these memoirs and through these recounts of the stories of this hunting group. But it's 1910, deepest darkest Africa. It's not to say that it doesn't exist, but the fact is, like, the reason why people are even giving kind of credence, even though they're not really giving credence because they haven't found it, the fact is that it literally was describing like 4 or 5 other animals like shortly right before then that are real. So,
Mm.
but still, it's like
That's a
Uganda.
very interesting description. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some other stuff that's kind of fun that might be of note. Um,
Well, I found a fun one. I've
yeah,
never heard of this one before. We're back to Canada again,
there's so
but
many of these things in Canada.
the I'm gonna butcher. Yeah, I'm gonna butcher this name, but the Thetis Lake Monster, the Thetis Lake Monster, or Canadian Lizard Man. Yeah, it's a cryptid that was sighted twice on Vancouver Island, Canada. The creature was first encountered by 2 teenage boys in 1972, and a police investigation sprung up from that. The monster was described as being an aquatic reptilian, humanoid, standing 5 feet tall, and resembled a human lizard with a large head that was covered in barbed spikes. 4 days later, 2 men reported the same creature in the lake swimming and stated that the lizard man was covered in silvery scales. Now, with the picture they're showing is Gilman from the creature from the Black Lagoon.
Well, of course, because that's true statements right there. That's real
Yeah,
things.
it's what you can equate it to. But the funny part about this one, and I have some things to say about this. In a week, a man reported that his pet tegu lizard, an aggressive lizard that can grow 4 feet long, went missing. The police closed their investigation, stating that the lizard man was a lizard. However, many locals still believe that Thetis Lake lizard man is still alive in the lake. Now, tegus aren't actually very aggressive. Tegus actually really love attention and love to be pet on and everything. And I don't think tegus well, it depends on the tegu, but like a 4-foot tegu is kind of pushing it because they only get like a foot to 2 feet long. Maybe there's another species out there that I don't know about but the ones I've seen only get like foot and a half, 2 feet. They get huge.
Yeah. Okay, it's one of those.
But I just love this one because it had pictures of Gilman on it.
No, it's like really weird. Like when I was
And
looking,
also, I mean, I'm sure I brought this up before, but I'm a huge black and white movie nerd. I love my black and white horror.
I do too. No, it's that Pacific Northwest. It's another thing from the Pacific Northwest because what I started with was something from that not far from that area either. So that's really it's not really it's like a lots of lizard type people out of the up that range. That's saying something. Just
Yeah.
saying. Let's go back to our aliens conspiracy show.
I'm sure we could talk about like lizard people because there's like reports of like lizard people in the woods and like all over America, at least North America for sure. Maybe we'll bug Eric about being on that show with us.
Ooh, that'd be good. Oh, that'd be hysterical. Like, look, we found one. Uh, to keep with the trend about talking about stuff that isn't plesiosaurs or dinosaurs or less likely dead, let's talk about the Iamish.
I am.
Iemisch. It's out of Patagonia, which is like southern South Africa. You know, that Argentina, Chile area, stuff like that. Um, known to be in the mountains of the Lake Colquay region, the mountains and stuff like that. First reported by back in 1897, and it even had a full study book in the 1955 book of the On Track of Unknown Animals. Um, so what this thing looks like is basically the animation looks like a mixture between like a jaguar and an otter, but as big as an otter.
That's funny because I was just reading one about a dog-headed, basically. Yeah.
And yeah, like there have been reports by so was it like a German anthropologist working in Argentina claimed to have found a sample of the skin given to him by a local rancher because the rancher uh, had found it, and like they found small bones were actually embedded as part of the skin, almost like armor like, which protected against arrowheads. Also said they believed that the what else we got here? Basically, as they look around, like a lot of like what's really weird is like Nietzsche, like these two different people wrote it, books and stuff like all this stuff talking about it, but a lot of their contemporary researchers went around asking people about this thing, and like everybody else goes, "What are you talking about? Huh? I know what you're talking about." But like, it's really, it's just one of those weird things that like it goes like it's probably not real, just because the fact is like Amish also isn't part of any language. It's native to that area. But it's very similar to like things like the bunyip, which I'll talk about bunyips in a minute because that's also a fun one to talk about. It's Australian
Hmm.
because it's not strictly water. These are
I,
all water based. It's like they're all surrounding them. Because like if it's an otter, I mean otters aren't technically. I mean they live in the water, but they not water
yeah,
cryptid. You know, but it still like
yeah, just
counts.
water mammals.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
still
and
counts because they live in the water.
yeah, that's like I just clicked on a random one here and again, Canada. What's shit? We're gonna have to talk to Campbell about this. Maybe fucking monsters and see what they know about fucking all these fucking lake cryptids. Maybe they're not telling us something.
Man, I'll talk to. I'll see. I'll try to see if I can get a hold of Orbax, man, because I bet Orbax knows a bunch of shit about that. That's just
Yeah, right. Yeah, Orbax might have a little something to say. Pepper would just be like, "Yep."
so. What are you guys drinking
um,
down there?
so I was looking up. Yeah, Mussy is the one I found. Mussy is an alleged sea creature or sea monster reported to be living in Muskrat Lake, 75 miles northwest of Ottawa, Ontario, the capital of Canada. The legend has gone through a gradual image change over the years. It has not been decided if Mussy is a single creature or an entire species. Description: in the past, the creature was called a. I'm gonna fuck this up. Hepa Hepazalor, and it's even in quotations, Hepazalor. After witness Donald Humphreys said the name popped into his head and described as a great serpent with 3 eyes and sharp teeth that towered over its potential prey. Some say it's got 2 horse-like ears on top of its head. with an extra ear in between pointing backward like a reverse unicorn horn. However, the interest of several mussy enthusiasts of various professional grades has helped to organize witness accounts and streamline percent of mussy that appears less exaggerated. It is now most popularly imagined as an unknown type of marine mammal sharing traits with a seal or walrus.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
An inland
Muskrat
walrus.
Lake,
That's
like many other lakes, was formed when the glaciers of the last age receded about 10,000 years ago. Repeatedly diluted salt about 6,000 years ago, water level dropped. It doesn't really say when the wait, hang on. It's saying 1988 is when they did like a sonar search to find it. So I mean, I guess this one's been around for a while. There was talk of offering uh, $1 million prize for Mussie's capture. The plan never saw fulfillment, but every year visitors in the area do often try to search for it. No one has yet captured evidence of its existence.
okay.
So Mussie of Muskrat Lake. How cute.
I want to say, because I'm a weird nerd this way, but I used to listen to the Chris Jericho podcast a lot, and he's from that region. And so I think he talked about like it was like offhand. He goes, "Yeah, as a kid, they tried to track it down, never saw shit, that sort of thing." But yeah, no, it's yeah, no, it's I mean, like a trapped inland walruses. All right, cool. I'll give you that. That's a believable thing. Um,
Mm,
Somehow, some way, weird shit happens. I mean, I can believe something like that. At least at one point. I mean, whether or not there's like a
yeah.
family of freshwater walruses now, unlikely. But I would equate it more because it's like weird because where Ottawa is located is not exactly close to you know to the coast, but it's still theoretically possible.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, no, that's still weird. But it's just fucking Canada. I guess you got. I mean, get nothing. But I mean, all I can do is like it's cold like 3,000 days a year, and so that's
Yeah.
not true. I mean, it's not exactly true, but I know
No,
they
I mean, I
sometimes.
okay. Yeah, us being, us living in the South. I went to I have family that lives in Michigan, and they were in Brighton, Michigan, which is like what, like an hour or so from Detroit, and went up there to visit back in 2000 with my family, go see my aunt, go see my cousins and everything, and we took a day trip to Canada. It's because it's right there, and it was before 9/11, so you could literally just like drive across and go to customs and be like, we're just taking a day trip to Canada, and they're like, oh, okay, have fun. But like it was July back in 2000, and I was wearing a long sleeve shirt and pants, and my aunt, who's acclimated, she's wearing like a short sleeve shirt and shorts, and she's like, oh god, it's so hot, and I'm like, bitch, I am cold, like,
And I don't get
because it was
cold.
like it was like 50 degrees in July, and I'm like, what is going on here? Like, I
That's
know it sounds
amazing.
great, but it like totally threw me off. Like, just being from the South and then going up there in July, and I'm like, why am I cold? What the hell?
Because July is supposed to be hot. Yeah, no, I get it. No, it's fine. Gizmock, it says Aussie was a green-eyed monster in the '90s in Lady Bird Lake, which is right here in Austin. That's actually a new one. I had heard about Aussie as far as like the only lake monster I know of was the one out of the Lake Worth monster, which is kind of but kind of not. Uh,
Hmm.
but that's really interesting. I'll have to research that a little bit more. I was not aware of that. But to be fair, don't know
I've
a lot about
heard of
Aussie.
that one. I don't know anything about it though.
We could talk about how about the Lager Fjordsommer?
Wait, repeat that.
The Lager Fjordsommer. It's
So that's from
Iceland.
like, okay, I was gonna say like Sweden or Iceland or something. Like,
Iceland, yeah, or it's also known as the Lager Fjords worm, which is a lake. It is a lake monster, that's purported to
Mm-hmm.
live in Lagerfjord, which is a lake by the town of Ingolstadur. I've been playing. Well, I was playing a lot of Assassin's Creed Valhalla, so like, I mean, it's like that. Just and like, it basically is. I'm also Swedish by. Oh yeah, cool. Thanks, Gizmock. Yeah, send me some stuff. That's fine. As far as links, as far as concerning Aussie, I may bring those up in a second. Yeah, so I've been playing because I'm like I have Swedish ancestry, so I was like learning all this stuff just watching that. It gets me fun. So basically, it's kind of like a serpentine kind of creature. Um, which tried to be longer than a bus, about 40 feet, and has been reported outside of the water, lying coiled up or slithering into the trees. So it's like more like so it's like a worm or more like a snake versus just like a strictly stuff like that. So it's more worm, like more like a worm, as it were, or snake. Um,
Yeah.
but it's also kind of hump-like, but it's not necessarily like that. So it's been had cited several times in modern times because it's actually only where's my history things. I want to pull this up because it's a lot of fun. The first sighting, quote unquote, sighting of this creature is back in 1345.
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
uh, and it's like recorded back in the annals of 15th century medieval stuff. It was mentioned in 16th century maps. See, like those cool maps that say "Here be monsters" in Iceland. There's one that is of the Lagerfjord Somar. Is like so that's kind of cool. It's also been in a Baroque poem back in the 17th century. Um, there's also been reported stuff as far as yada yada yada. Supposedly, there's a 2012 video of some creatures swimming there as well. I'm gonna have to pull that up in a minute. Basically, it was considered a heath worm or a type of slug that was kept with gold, which grew into a monster. Is a lake. What other fun stuff? But like, it's just like basically it has like a seal-like head, but it's like huge like worm thing. So it's really like it's kind of. I'm actually really fascinated by this thing because it's been around since like 1300s. They like just like going to like the Loch Ness monster and go to get the boats and like the tours. They have tours at this lake to try to look for the worm. And 2012
Man,
there was
like
yeah.
I'm sure the people who throw those tours are like, this thing isn't fucking here, but we can charge for it.
Well, like the pictures, there's a video from 2012 which shows something swimming in the snow-covered icy water. Uh,
Hmm.
and it's one of those things. It's hard to. It's disputed, of course. Uh,
Of course, yeah.
Of course, but it's just really was one of those things. I go, that's really fucking interesting because it's going. They're big just like that, and I think my friend here. Let's see what's going on, but yeah, it's just weird and crazy.
Yeah. See, I found one that was completely different. Uh, it's got the cool name too. It's the ugly merman.
So what?
So, ugly merman are a type of lake monster reported across the world. Other proper terms for the beings would be ugly mermaid, the female variations, and the all-encompassing ugly mer being, because we want to be all-encompassing. Yeah, you know, we don't want to put gender identities on any of these cryptids or anything. Um, they have been sighted in Thunder Bay, Lake Superior, first sighted in 1782. On May 3rd, 1782, Voyager Ventant Saint Germain was camped on the shore of Lake Superior across from Isla Royale. He was watching the sunset with three comrades and an elderly Ojibwe woman. I'm assuming that's a Native American tribe. I probably butchered that. But when an unusual creature about 75 yards offshore caught his eye, it appeared to him to have the upper part of its body above the waist formed exactly like that of a human being and seemed to him about the size of a child of 7 or 8 years of age. Its countenance bore an exact resemblance to those of the human face, and it had brilliant eyes, a raised hand of fully formed fingers, and a dark complexion. Gun in hand, Saint Germain was preparing to shoot the creature and save it for science when the Indian woman attacked him. During their tussle, the creature disappeared below the water. Distraught, the woman reproached Saint Germain for his wicked intentions. She explained that the mermaid was a god of the lakes and that merely by trying to kill it, he would raise a storm powerful enough to kill them all. And for the next 3 days, the little group of travelers was stranded on shore by gale force winds and crashing waves. Although Saint Germain encountered another fur trader who claimed to have seen a similar creature in the same part of the Lake Superior, most people doubted his story. This led him to provide sworn testimony of his encounter with the merman of Lake Superior before his Canadian court in 1812. And this one does have a bit of an explanation. Said one creature that could be considered an ugly merman is the Vodianoi, Vodyanoy, oh, excuse me. A frog-faced creature from Russia. Interestingly, a comparison between them and a bearded seal can be made. So a bearded seal and an 8-year-old boy mermaid are very similar.
Okay.
I want to know how ugly this thing was for him to look at it and be like, oh, it looks like a small child, but ugly. Also, the picture they have next to it is like a kind of like a frog person, which looks way better than the frog person on Mandalorian.
All the weird gecko people.
Yeah, no, like they were frog people, but like
They look more like geckos to me.
look like geckos. Like yeah, they look like my crested gecko, but if you had the subtitles on, it was speaking frog. It was all in frog.
Okay.
They were supposed to be frog people, and that's why they had the tadpoles and everything else, because geckos don't have babies like that.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna quibble about the fake aliens with their weird technology and.
It looked like this guy.
Yeah, they looked at, but literally almost looked a little bit smoother skinned, but yeah, definitely. Like geckos or
Yeah,
salamanders. They look more like geckos
yeah,
or salamanders do kind of a tadpole sort of thing, so, or some of them do.
yeah. Salamanders do have tadpoles, so do axolotls. I got one of those too. But yeah, the Mandalorian frog creature looked more like one of these guys, little crested
Yeah,
gecko.
yeah.
And me being a Star Wars nerd, this guy actually has a Star Wars name. His name is Salacious Crumb. And if any of you nerds watching out there know who that is, high five.
Well, you know I do.
And, he likes to jump. Woo!
Okay.
I've been meaning to build a ring for him to jump through. But yeah, Salacious Crumb. If anybody doesn't know, Salacious Crumb was the little Kowakian monkey lizard that Jabba the Hutt had as a pet in his palace.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Nah. Yeah. I thought you were gonna call it like yeah, it's named after a Star Wars character, Spock. Just to piss off all the Star Wars people, just for fun.
Okay, you don't want to go away. All right, I guess Salacious is going to hang out with me for a minute.
You're warm, so it's probably
Yeah,
bad for
probably. Yeah,
yeah, it's probably
and
bad
you've
for
got plenty of. Salacious has plenty of heat in there. Got a heat lamp and a heating pad, but yeah, I'm a softer source of heat. Come on, jump. Anyway, what else you got? We talked about the ugly mermen. We talked about the frog people from the Mandalorian.
All right, so Gizmock on the show, his partner or something like that sent me, friended me on Facebook and sent me some minor things, but it's going to here. I'm a nerd. I'm going to track this stuff down, so they didn't find a lot about it other than the fact that it exists. Uh, They had one thing they sent me was like a little picture
Would
of.
they want to come on live and talk to us for a minute? I mean, I'd be down for that.
I don't know if you're up for it. You just put it in the chat if you're up to it. We can figure that out. One thing was like a little picture of like a thing going. All right, cool. Halloween. $50 for the best costume. Let's look at the first sightings of the the lake monster from like 1977. And then there's another article from 1990 kind of about it, which is very loosely kind of like saw the weird thing. Um, then I did my own digging real quick because I figured while we were chatting about this stuff, um, there is a
Do it.
there's a basically
Just do it.
there was an old water plant that kind of got under the water and stuff like that, which was a green what they call the green water plant, so it's painted green. All right, cool, man. Gizmo, just let us know. Well, we talk about cryptids at least once a week, once a month, and all sorts of other stuff. All always, and we always everybody know. Like, we'll go over what we're gonna talk about at the end of the show, but we'll always talk about different stuff. But back to the other thing I found out about the Lake Austin monster, Aussie. Because its large structure which used to be used by the Green Water Treatment Plant and the original power plant. It's underwater now, but they still have these little things over it that are painted green. They're just green painted, and somebody painted eyes on them. So now there's an eyed monster in the thing. But I
Mm-hmm.
think that came after the reports of this. That came after the reports of a monster living there. But chances are that's probably what people saw. So it's just a weird sort of this one's gotta go. It can be attributed to the fact it's a structure versus an actual creature, but still fun. It's like one of those. Oh, cool, weird. Keep Austin weird. Here's a weird story.
Yeah.
We have art carving in the wall.
I just looked up. I just found one, but like the stories are. Oh, hi. Salacious just jumped on my face.
There you go.
It's more stories and descriptions. So I'm just going to kind of like give you a gist of it. Canadian and Cuban albino shark.
Of course. So Canadian and Cuban shark. Are you frozen?
Yeah.
Oh no, you're not. Okay, just being weird. I'm sorry.
Gulf of Mexico.
We have somebody in the chat who wants to make us famous, so I'm gonna ban them real quick. So.
What? They're gonna make us famous? But this one, the big fish are present often enough to warrant recognition from the Texas Parks and Wildlife Department. If the revelation makes you a bit nervous, just wait. It's about to get worse. Early one morning in June of 1945, 6 Cuban fishermen set out to Coimar, probably best known as the town where Ernest Hemingway wrote his Pulitzer Prize-winning novel, The Old Man and the Sea, in a 14-foot wooden skiff to fish their standard fare of tuna and Dorado, marlin, and yes, sharks. Little did they know what they were in for. Bait fresh, mini sharks, blah, blah, blah. Nothing like this specimen. They knew that if they could land the beast, it would fetch a handsome price. They had no tackle suitable for tangling with the monster, so they improvised by braiding several lines together, then attached that to a wire leader and shark hook. They baited the hook with a half a tuna that was bitten in half by a smaller shark the previous day, tossed the rig into the water, and went us to wonder what went through their minds as the great white shark approached the bait and they realized that the fish was much larger than their boat. So a giant albino shark that's been seen in Canada, Cuba, Gulf of Mexico, Africa, South America, all over the place, really.
Oh wow! Oh hey, Sally Cinch.
I mean, it's not lake or river, but it kind of popped up with the lake monsters that I'm looking at right now.
Well, it's
what are
still
you
water
doing?
based, yeah. So yeah, Sally Cinch is in the chat. Hey, Sally.
Hey, Sally. Well, before we get off, I will. I'll have to go and show you all my little river monster, my little axolotl. I mean, I'm playing with my leopard gecko or my crested gecko right now.
Yeah, I go Axel. You said axolotl. First you said your river monster. I go. I'm sorry, we can't show that on Twitch. But the axolotl we're fine with. Because at first you go, I'm gonna show you my little river monster. Hey, we can't show that. Okay, so I want to finish out by talking about the bunyip because I said I was going to talk about it earlier.
The Funyun?
Bunyip,
Oh, okay.
Bunyip. The
I
bunyip
thought
is from
somebody just saw like circular shaped onion chips in a river or something, and
they probably did. I've seen the water that flows just in the Houston Channel. It's just
that's all it is Funyuns and trash.
yeah. So the bunyip is from Australia, and they've like there's been tales of the bunyip since the dream time, which is the way the Aboriginals talk about the before basically because all their stuff's based on like kind of word of mouth, kind of oral tradition stories. Um, but the first time, but like once England started depositing all their criminals there, we learned to hail tales of the bunyip. So the bunyip, let's see. There have been different kinds of descriptions about the bunyip, but the one most common, which is like this is like the earliest I know one being called is like 1851 is basically, but that's about right for when people went to us there. Um, it's what is it like? They kind of look like basically like seals or swimming dogs, but bigger, like just a big jacked up seal, for lack of a better term. But also tend to have a longer neck. They like, I'd say like kind of a seal dog thing was described to be about 4 to 6 feet long with shaggy black or brown coats. Bunyips have round heads that look more like bulldogs, but with prominent ears, no tail, and then the whiskers like a seal or otter. And then there's supposedly like another one supposed to be very another the other style basically is the long neck variety, which is about 5 to 15 feet long, black or brown fur, large eyes, small tusks, heads like a horse or emu, which that's two totally different types of heads. Of course, is that long maned neck, which is about 3 feet long, and has a horse-like tail. That's
Okay.
one like 70% of the time people are talking about the weird seal dog thing, and like 30% of the time they're high on weird ass Australian mushrooms and describing the long necked one. I think they've been known to be amphibious and nocturnal, and then they run around the various lakes, rivers, and swamps. Um, according to the Aborigines, the bunyips can swim very swiftly. They have a loud roaring call, and they typically feed on crayfish, although it's been told that they have been very bloodthirsty and going after humans, particularly women and children. I thought that was just
It's
dingoes.
always women and children.
And apparently they lay eggs because it's Australia, because of course they lay eggs. And they hide them in platypus nests.
Makes sense.
Now, to be fair, Australia, I think 90% of its population lives on the coasts. 90% of the population doesn't live inland. They live all around the inland. So
Have you seen what's in Australia? Yeah, like the inland is fucking terrifying. I mean, not that the coast is any better. They got blue ring octopus and fucking great white sharks and all kinds of crazy shit. They don't need cryptids.
that's one continent of cryptids. So it's one of those
Yeah,
things I go.
like
There probably is something that basically is the bunyip. I
I
mean,
mean, they've
less
got the Australian
mystical.
huntsman spider that gets like a foot in diameter.
They've got Paul Hogan. Who apparently has a new movie coming out because it came across my feed.
Oh god.
Apparently, in the movie, he's playing himself, where he's getting knighted by the Queen for all his work as Crocodile Dundee, and he doesn't want to deal with
Wow.
being Crocodile Dundee anymore. I know it's fucked up, and he like basically goes, "Yeah, I went to work for doing comedy." He goes, "I just want to be a serious actor, but but Crocodile Dundee, the fucking Crocodile Dundee, just sick of it." It
You
doesn't want to do
call
it
that
till
a knife? This is a
yeah,
knife.
yeah.
I grew up on
So
Crocodile Dundee. Fuck.
I did. I remember. Yeah, I did. I remember it. I watched the. I didn't ever watch Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles because why?
I vaguely remember it. Like, I don't remember wanting to watch it. I just remember it being on TV and I had nothing better to do.
Yeah, but yeah, it's just the bunyip, which is like one of those things. Like, you know, of all things that we've talked about, something like that probably exists because there's so much of fucking Australia we know nothing about. Because
Yeah, I mean, if you can't get
there's
past all the fucking wild animals, you have to deal with the Aborigines. Like,
yeah, and they don't want to fucking yeah. And what's my understanding is I don't think like even like there's no roads driving through Australia. It's all around, or like there be
no,
potentially
it's
there could
like, yeah,
be.
all the roads are like, as far as I know, I could be completely wrong about this, but like from what I've been told by like friends is like the roads just kind of go around the coast, and there might be a couple of like paths through the middle, but there's not like roads.
You'll get like maybe a little bit inland, but not like through inland. You can't go from one coast to the other driving through the country.
Yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, of all the things we talked about
but
today,
apparently it's also only like a 6 to 12 hour drive to drive around the whole thing. I don't remember what that was. Somebody told me that once, but like it's
yeah,
not a lot
it's
to
probably
drive around the whole like thing.
12 because I think it's only well, it's. My guess, I don't know. I would say it's probably bigger than that though. Maybe I'm wrong because I thought Australia was a decent sized continent. I mean, not huge, but like
Yeah, like I
it's like
said, I might be wrong. I might be thinking of somewhere else. You know what? I might be thinking. Somebody told me that to drive around like the big island of Hawaii. I can't remember the name
that's
of it, but
probably
that was
six.
only
That's
like three or
probably
four
six
hours.
hours. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably that's
it's
probably
like
that's better.
like 4 to 6 hours to drive around that. So maybe I'm thinking of that. But we're kind of at the end right here. So
Yeah,
I kind of want to end on something
yeah,
that's actually
sure.
a real creature, but also has some cryptid stories to it. So we all know what salamanders are. Hopefully, salamanders are a mostly aquatic. They start off as little tadpoles, and they're super cute, and then they turn into this creature, mostly known as a water dog, commonly. And they have these little frills on their head, and those are actually their lungs and how they breathe. And then when they age, they lose those, and they turn into a slimy-looking lizard that can kind of it can spend time on land, but mostly is aquatic. But the Asian salamanders, it's not really clear here, but I want to say more Japan. I feel like I've read more about Japan, but it says Japan and China have recorded in the 5 to 6 foot range of the Japanese giant salamander. For example, reaches up to 4 feet 9 inches, feeds on fish and crustaceans, and has been known to live for more than 50 years in captivity. The Chinese giant salamander can reach a length of 5 foot 11 inches, perhaps even bigger. So I guess there are Chinese and Japanese. I've seen videos of these things. Like they're real. They're huge. Like you think of a little salamander, like, oh, they're cute. They only get like 5 or 6 inches. No, these things get like 5 or 6 feet. And
They're like our size.
they're massive. And oh shit, drop my chunk. But yeah, like it's a real thing. They get massive. They get huge. They find them in like underwater tunnels a lot. They find them in shallower waters because they are land and water animals. But one thing that I have, they are from a lake in Mexico, and I'm going to butcher the name. It's a Zotiachil Lake or Zotamachil, something like that. But these are actually an anomaly, and they are endangered in the wild. That is an axolotl. They kind of hit that mid range of the salamander where they keep their little frills,
Mm-hmm.
and they stay this way. This is a fully grown, well, not fully grown, but this is an adult. They
Yeah.
can get up to like 7 to 9 inches. Mine is about maybe 8 inches, 6 to 8 inches. His name is Pepe. They're only literally found in one lake in Mexico, and that's why they're an endangered species. Uh, the reason I have one is because before they were an endangered species, they got into the pet trade, and they actually thrive in the pet trade. So even though they're going extinct in the wild, they are they're doing fine. Like their numbers are fine in captivity, but not in the wild. I think I paid $30 for this guy, and he was like 4 inches long, and now he's huge and he's fat and he's happy, and I named him Pepe.
That's cool.
But yeah, that's one of those river monsters that actually became a real thing. But one of the things I was reading is there's actually larger ones. They get up to 12 to 15 feet, and they attack boats and everything else. But if you've seen salamanders, if you've seen axolotls, yeah, they're pretty. They're also called walking lizards because they don't really swim. They can swim. They can swim pretty well, but mostly they just walk along the bottom. Mine eats. I feed it bloodworms, but I could feed it, earthworms and other stuff like that. But they don't even have teeth. They just kind of like suck stuff in. I've gone in there. He's just really chill right now, but they can be really personable. If I'm in there like moving stuff around or cleaning stuff up, he'll come up to my hand and kind of swim around my hand. He's very curious. He's a fun little guy, but they're not super aggressive. If I pet him a little bit, he might take a little nip at me, but he didn't have teeth, so it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah. Well, okay, so we got Burps the Clown is in the chat. Hello, Burps. Good to see you. We're happy to have you on thing. And then Sally's, and Sally Cinch wants to meet Pepe one day, and that requires coming to Texas to Houston.
Yeah, Pepe's not a traveler. Pepe probably wouldn't travel too well, so.
Yeah,
but maybe if we got the hoot going on, I can bring some other critters.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, I got plenty of other critters. I had my crested gecko there a second ago, but also, here's my this corner of tarantulas. I've got walking sticks. I've got cats. I've got all kinds of dumb pets.
Yeah. So
speaking of dumb pets, my camel spider died.
Aw, dumb spider.
Yeah, it was pretty much fully grown when I bought it. I didn't expect to have it for too long, so not a big deal.
It's not like insects live terribly long.
No, I think they only live for about a year, 2 years. But like most of my tarantulas, females can live anywhere from 12 to 30 years.
Oh wow, that's
like the pink bloom bird eater I've got right here. It's hiding, you can't really see it, but that one lives about 30 years. My Lasiodora para hibana, this little guy, he's kind of young right now. Well, he or she, I don't know the sex of it, but judging by the way it looks, probably a female, and they live 20 to 40 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Okay. But, yeah, spiders have weird lifespans, and I've got too many of them.
Yes, you do. All right, yeah. So thanks. So let's go over our plugs for the week, and then we'll get out of here. Thank you guys so much for watching the show. We definitely appreciate it. You're doing live Saturday. You're the Friday and Saturday. Well, give your plug for Friday and Saturday. Spider.
Friday will be at Creepy Hollow Haunted House here in Houston. Well, out of Houston, Texas, in Rocheron, Texas. I will double check times. We're staying open till 10 because it's off season, or we might go to midnight. I don't know yet. I will double check. But I'll be doing shows with Chris Broken and Crispy Clown. Normally we do 4 shows a night, but if we're doing a half night, it's only 2 shows, but different shows each time. 3 different haunted houses, all kinds of characters, food vendors, and oh man, I can't really release any info yet, but shit's gonna get wild next year, and I'm so looking forward to it. But other than that, that's pretty much it for me. We got to double check a date for Coup, but yeah. What about you? What you got going on?
All right, so Wednesday. Oh, first off, before I get anywhere, the drive around Australia takes 14 days.
14 days? Okay, yeah, I was definitely thinking about Hawaii then.
Yeah, 14 days. Yeah, because that's good. I looked at it and go, that seems awfully short for 14 days.
Yeah, no, I was definitely thinking about like I mixed up stories with friends. Then yeah, it was definitely Hawaii that I was thinking about. That's only like 4 to 12 hours.
Yeah. Burps is in the chat. She goes, they definitely want to get an OBT tarantula. They just got an apricot Puebloan milk snake, and now they're hooked on animals. So
Ooh, you want an OBT? Burps, please message me and let's talk about
yeah.
OBTs. OBT means orange baboon tarantula, but the more common name in the trade is orange bitey thing. And I've had a couple of OBTs, and I'll tell you some stories. If you're trying to get in tarantulas, I will walk you through the best ones to start off with. So please message me. We'll talk.
All right. Yeah. Definitely do so. Because yeah, if anybody's gonna know, this is the dude. Um. So, anyways, back to what we're talking about here. So, Wednesday, I've got the Devil's Hour right here, Cabin Fever live stream at 10 p.m. Central Standard Time. Pardon me. I'm going to be showcasing Spirit Box. It's a really cool band. It's a new band that's coming out. Our good friend Juggler Clown Ben Kirsch.
Hey Ben, I was
Hey,
watching Ben's live video earlier. He was making a full uh, animal balloon Christmas tree. It was all just like the long balloons. He made a full Christmas tree on live
oh,
today on
he's
Facebook. It was
amazing.
super cool.
Yeah, I've got a really cool video of him actually doing juggling, so it's gonna be a lot of fun. And then I'm gonna showcase Amigo the Devil.
Hey, right
Uh,
on.
those are also really good stuff. And then on Saturday, because Scab's there is going to be busy. It's actually just coincidental, but I'm going to be talking again with the sideshow legend Chris Christ, CM Christ. We're going to be talking together.
Hell yeah.
We're going to talk about Christmas, doing Christmas sideshow stories and all that sort of fun stuff. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you tune in. If you got some questions, make sure you got the chat so you can drop them in. It's going to be a good time.
Man, that kind
And
of works
then
out because next Monday we're talking about creepy Christmas too.
we're going to be talking. But yeah, we're going to talk about the could be real Christmas. But yeah, we're going to talk. Yeah, that's exactly because 'tis the season. So we're going to talk weird Christmas stuff. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Otherwise, on my end, I don't do anything right now because I I don't trust people. So,
And I don't
it's been
blame you, sir.
yeah. I think the most exciting I'm going to get into because I just got it in today and I'm plugging it is I just got the new Roses Royal Midgets. And other little people, a vaudeville book, which is written by Trav SD out of New York, forward by James Taylor.
Wait, who? Who's
And
that guy? I've never heard
yeah,
of him before.
I've never heard that guy. And then it's actually the book is actually the publisher is actually a good friend that I did an interview with from Vaudeville, Jim Moore from Vaudevisuals Press. So it's pretty cool
Right
stuff.
on.
That's literally just got in the like literally I got home today and was sitting on my stoop, so I was going, all right, cool. That's what I'll be doing tomorrow when I'm not playing Cyberdong 2077. Uh, I haven't had that issue, but everybody seems to be having the issues where you're playing the male character for Cyberpunk 2077, and he's just hanging out, running down the street, and I'm just going, I don't really get that, but okay. Especially when you're all you can do is see first person, so it's not like you can see anything anyways. But whatever. But it's a
They're
fun game,
looking on
by the way.
purpose then.
That's got to be what it is. It's a fun game, so I enjoy it. So I've enjoyed it so far. But yeah, I'll probably be splitting time as when I get frustrated with the game, I'll read for a while. Then when I get frustrated with the book, I'll play the game for a while, back and forth because I'm off
Yeah.
tomorrow. And working on stuff. But
Yeah,
once again, thank
I'm
you.
gonna get the game eventually. I'm gonna let all the bugs work themselves out. But I totally
It's
want like an awesome indie character with some like awesome tits and a giant dick. That's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, you can't do that. That's what's cool. The only thing some people have the issue. The fact is, there's only he, she, he. Like basically, you go masculine voice. You are known as a he. And but I mean, there's not a lot of he's and she's being said about your character throughout the show that I've noticed so far. So I don't think it's
Mm.
that big. I mean, it's. I get people want to feel like they're
I mean,
represented, but
it's still a learning curve. It's one of those things. Like I'm sure, like if there's reboots or anything like that, or a next game, they'll include they them pronouns, and that's cool as
slowly
fuck.
but surely. And the character, you can also be smooth like a Ken doll if you want to go that route too. So
Hell yeah.
anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in. We greatly appreciate it. But until next time, you guys have fun and be safe. And as always, keep drinking.